expresses the way the person takes in, looks at, understands, or perceives and looks at things generally. The theory of perspective is based on the fact that from every point of an object that we're looking at it, a ray of light is carried in a straight line to our eyes. By these immeasurable rays of light, we gain the impression of the object. Now, even though object is used in this instance just for convenience, we see them at a different angle according to whether we watch with both eyes, with the right eye, with the left eye shut. My name is Dexter Moses, and I'm going to be riding with you through all suppositions, shedding light on all subject matters, if you would like to call it that, and creating useful perspectives. So let me appeal to you. Pick a vantage position, get your favorite drink, grab your popcorn, and whatever else rocks your world, and let's sail together. Do not forget to please like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications on my page just below here, so that every time we're taking a sail, we'll be taking that sail together. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to be your host on Perspectives with DM. I'll be discussing with you today on reasons why New Year resolutions fail. Let's take a look. Okay. Hi! So, it's a brand new year, and one is exceptionally thankful for the gift of life. I'm grateful for the fact that you have joined us. I want us to have a conversation about something that's interesting, something that everyone, does, or quite a number of persons undertake at the beginning of every new year. The new year can symbolize a new chapter, in people's lives, and consequently, it becomes a huge opportunity for a reset. Now, this reset for some people could mean certain new decisions, certain new, certain new intentional actions that is supposed to make their lives supposedly better or different. I'm thinking you've already made your resolutions, or you're thinking of making some. So it's very important, I think, that we should have this conversation and have some perspective into New Year resolutions and why they mostly fail. Okay, so according to research, about or slightly over 80% of persons who make a New Year resolution actually have those resolutions fail, max say February of that year. What may be responsible for this failure? Some say it's a lack of goal clarity. Some say it's too high expectations. There may be a plethora of reasons why these resolutions fail before long, or why we're not able to sustain our resolutions before long. I'll take a few of them. And for me, the first of the reasons for me is quite personal. Man, know thyself. That word that looks like just a catchphrase could just be about the heaviest, the deepest philosophy that guides all of man's existence. Because true strength comes from the place of knowledge. It's my perspective that one of the reasons why New Year resolutions particularly fail is for a lack of deep understanding of who you are as a person and why you do the things you do the way that you do them. Especially when you are locked in a specific negative, self-sabotaging or self-limiting behavioral pattern that resists change. Okay, let's talk about the big elephant in the room. You know that man is naturally averse to change. Man naturally resists the concept of change. It is this natural resistance that may be one of the most important factors that determine whether a person's resolutions at the beginning of the year are sustained through the year or whether they are not. In reality, understanding who you are helps you align with the aspects of you that when they become better in small steps and small actions, they help you reach your goals based on the accumulated small steps from those small actions that you undertake as a person. I also want to speak about another interesting factor. I want to speak about the paralysis that comes from fear of the unknown. Ladies and gentlemen, if I would be sincere with us, I think that man's greatest, or some of man's greatest inhibiting factor in life will be the fear of the unknown. Come on. I might not specifically be talking to those of us who have figured out our lives. You figured out the end. You know what you're doing. You have your stuff together. You can take risks. No. I ain't talking to you. This conversation is about that young lady who's finding it very difficult to even get out of bed in the morning to face her day because she's not exactly sure of what lies in wait for her as she takes her walk through life. This conversation is about the young man who has put everything that all of his mates are putting together, but it seems like he's not reaching his goal. I understand how specifically one can become paralyzed from the fear of the unknown. The reality is that man's first potential capacity is to self-preservate. It means that you have a natural inclination to shielding yourself from what is considered an adverse circumstance or adverse condition or adverse experience. And as it were, because it is your natural first state, first inclination to preserve yourself, a lot of times we don't take the risks that are necessary to sustain growth in certain aspects of our lives. But I also point out that the concept of self-preservation is actually intuitive. It is almost a reflex action. It has to take conquering the limitations of oneself to actually come to the point where you're able to decipher or make the difference or take that step that actually goes beyond your natural comfort position. And if I might add, this is a major factor why most people, a lot of persons, do not keep their New Year resolutions. Paralysis from the unknown, because the year has never been in existence, so you don't know what to expect. It is part of human survival instinct to be circumspect, if not afraid of what he doesn't know. But guess what? If you pay attention to purpose, if you pay attention to yourself, if you pay attention to understanding who you are, you would most likely realize that all the tools you need to become the best version of you, the best possible version of you, are already available to you. So I'd like to suggest for this brand new year that you are clear about your goals. Be clear about your goals. Be specific with your resolutions. Have them written down, perhaps in specific bullet points, and keep them in strategic places where you can always see them. Note that the eyes and the ears, of course, they feed your soul. So whatever the eyes see consistently, it conceptualizes. As a man thinketh, so he is. Before you think, an image must have been cast in your subconscious. It is the image that is cast in your subconscious that produces logical conversations between your spirit and your mind. And so, if you have those unambiguous, clear, specific goals that you write down, that's an easier way to keep your resolutions throughout the year. I'd suggest you articulate these goals, reconstruct them into smaller actions. Small actions, day to day, week to week, month to month. Represent them in small steps. So for instance, you want to be able to buy a car, and you want to improve your savings so you can buy a car. Assuming that this vehicle will cost 240,000 or 2.4 million naira to purchase, it means that you need to save minimum of 200,000 naira per month to be able to purchase that car. So what do? It means that there are 30 days in a month. If you reduce your goal to saving a minimum of about 8,000 naira daily, if you have the capacity to, you would have saved 240,000 in a month. And in 10 months, you would have saved enough money to buy the car. But if you look at the goal of saving 200,000 or 240,000 naira within a month, it might look too big. But it's possible that where you work or whatever it is you do, you're able to save 5,000, 8,000, 10,000 naira in a day. You can be sure that you'll be able to save up to 240,000 in a month. And consequently, in 10 months, you would have saved 2.4 million naira necessary to buy yourself a car. So your New Year resolution is not to save 2.4 million naira to buy the car. Your New Year resolution actually is to save about 5,000 or 8,000 naira daily. That's your New Year resolution. If it becomes as small as that and it is something you're able to do, trust me, there is no resolution that you cannot sustain. I also want to encourage you to get a coach, get an accountability partner, get a mentor that will help you stay accountable through the year. Now, this is a very important part because the concept of growth for man, the idea generally is as you go on the journey of life, there is the tendency for you to experience certain distractions. Things that will distract you will come in their numbers. And so if you do not have, if you are not able to find yourself a circle, a mentor, a coach that is able to help you align, to focus, to stay in tune with your original goal, the tendency to become distracted is at the highest possible rate. So getting a coach or a mentor or an accountability partner is one sure way to ensure that your resolutions are sustained through the year. Now, I should have begun with this, but I also want to suggest to you, by way of my perspective, that it's important for you to primarily find and understand your purpose. Find and understand your purpose. The first key to all advancement is knowledge. I'll say that again. The first key to all advancement is knowledge. Knowledge helps you, knowing yourselves helps you appreciate your inadequacies, appreciate your inconsistencies as a person, appreciate your areas of weakness as a person, and consciously and conscientiously invest in improving on that aspect of you. But the first thing is to know. You have to know. If you set goals that align with your life's purpose, you will find that you do not have the energy that is required to sustain your New Year resolutions. Once a goal aligns with your purpose in life, it just happens naturally. It happens like it was meant to be already. So it's important to identify, isolate your purpose for life and set goals on that path. Even nature will be forced to align with you to ensure that you fulfill those resolutions. I want to leave you with this last suggestion. Perhaps instead of a whole memo of resolution that you call New Year resolution, perhaps you could choose a word of the year. One of the things that the brand Nike represents is a cliche that they have used forever, but which speaks volumes. Nike says, just do it. Just do it. The key word in that phrase is do. Take action. So if your catchphrase, if your key word for the year is to be disciplined, for instance, it means that every action that you're taking throughout the year is perceived, is seen, is followed through with the eyes of discipline. If your key word for the year is empathy, for instance, it means that you'd have to consciously invest in a better emotional intelligence or invest in improved emotional quotient so that you can appreciate human interaction, your interaction with yourself and with the people around you and the impact that it has. So I'd love to suggest, by way of my perspective, that you go for word of the year instead of an entire New Year resolution. Because I'm thinking that if you have a New Year resolution that aligns with your purpose, it is easy to just focus on a word of the year that will help you travel through the year with that resolution easily done. Now, the truth is, the list is not exclusive. Because of the individuality of human experiences and the fluidity of personal perspectives, the reality is there's no thumb rule to making your New Year resolutions work. I therefore want to keep the focus of this conversation on encouraging you to first know you so you can do you. Invest in this year in knowing yourself, because that knowledge is like illumination, is like a light on your path. The reality is, as long as you can see what you're stepping into, as long as you can see where you're stepping to, you would necessarily not make mistakes. So seek to know this year, seek to know about yourself. The more you know about yourself, the more you'd appreciate the resolutions that you make that will help you lead a beautiful life. I will be looking forward to other conversations that furthers strategic personal growth throughout the year. I want to please don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to turn on notifications on this page. Down here, just click the like and the subscribe button and follow us so that when we have anything cooking again, you'll be the first to know. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do this again. I am your host, Dexter Moses, and we're on Perspectives with DM. See you again.